Here now, a few minutes after 6 o'clock, WHUP LP Hillsboro. We are Past the Hat. We bring you the best in live music radio. We've got another fantastic band setting up here in the studio, the Paco Band.
Everybody, we're glad you're here. Support for Past the Hat on WHUP is provided by RM Source Incorporated. All your IT needs for all your enterprise stuff. They're great.
Customized IT solutions designed around today's enterprise business needs.
I've been here for a year. I have no idea what a customized enterprise solution is, but I'm sure it's a wonderful thing.
You keep thinking of Captain Kirk when you say that, don't you?
No, who wouldn't? Anyway, I would. Everybody, glad you're here. And Ed, glad you're here.
Glad to be here.
Introduce your band, Ed.
To my right is the wonderful Cat Albanese, my percussionist, vocalist, sometimes pianist and guitarist.
Hello.
Say hello again.
Hello.
Okay, that's better.
And then to her right, not that you could see out there, but is Ryan Johnson. He is an awesome guitarist I've known for years. Does a lot of work outside of the band as well as some solo projects, and he plays a mean shredding guitar too.
And this is Ed Stephenson to my right. EdwardStephenson.com would be one website among many that we could find you. And how about we just start off the show with some music?
Wait, we need to hear Mr. Johnson say hi so I can set the level of his microphone.
We have to call him Mr.
Hey, Ryan,
Johnson?
how's it going over there?
Hey, how's it going?
Ryan, we have to call you Mr. Johnson?
Well,
We've known you for like 5 minutes. Come on, man.
Okay. It's Ryan now. Okay.
All right.
So we'll check our tuning since we just got in from the heat. This is off our CD called Eno, and this is the title track.
Are you having as much fun as I am, Kirk? That was fantastic.
I was just thinking I wished I brought my shoes with the cleats on them because I would have been doing that thing.
Yeah, you mean the cleats? Really, cleats? You're
Yeah.
going to be playing
Or
football?
taps. You could call them taps. We used to call them cleats. Ed Stephenson, just awesome. Really
Thank
enjoyed
you very
that.
much.
We are here with the Paco Band. Ed Stephenson, Kat Alvarez, Ryan Johnson, collectively known as the Paco Band. And Ed, tell us a little bit about the group, how long you've been together.
Let's see.
Or did you just meet them downstairs?
Yeah, this was just I pulled off the street. You know,
Good,
Kat's-
so you have good selection.
I've been very lucky meeting Kat and Ryan. The band started before they joined, though. Ryan's been how many years? About 7? 8 years. And they just fly by. And then Kat's
Indeed.
about 5 years now. And then, but the band's been around for at least a decade, a little over a decade. I was my favorite guitarist, which is the namesake of the band, Paco de Lucia.
Aha.
Do you know? Have you ever heard
I
Paco?
do not.
Paco de Lucia was one of the most famous flamenco players from Spain. I mean, do you know Al Di Meola? Have you heard?
I'm afraid I do not.
Oh, okay.
You're
Well,
embarrassing me.
Well,
You're
how about
great.
John McLaughlin?
I've heard of the name.
Okay, so they did this.
Is he the guy that does McLaughlin Group?
How about Jimi Hendrix, Bob? Do you know any guitarist?
Say Django Reinhardt.
There you go.
Okay.
Perfect. Same line. That's perfect. Anyways, they had this album they did way back. It was Paco de Lucia, Al Di Meola, and John McLaughlin.
Wow.
And I heard one of those songs, and I said, I want to play that stuff. And so that's when I kind of started the band.
So it took over your life from there.
Well, kind of, yes. But that's kind of the genesis of it all.
So, Ed, guitar was your first instrument way back when?
That's a great question. Does the kazoo count?
Kazoo counts.
Counts, okay,
It's
good.
musical.
It's one of our favorites.
I believe it was, yes. It really was, yeah. Yeah. And then I had played a little violin, too, and anything I could get my hands on.
And where did you grow up?
In the wonderful town of Toronto, Canada.
Oh.
Born
Now,
and raised.
Bob's son, as I think you know, is up there in Ontario Province.
Yep. I guess the closest big town is Hamilton. He's actually at
course.
University of Guelph.
Of
in
course.
Guelph.
I got a lot of stories of Guelph, and I know exactly where it is. I mean, I was raised until I was 18. I left to study in the States. And so, yeah, that's my turf. Although I didn't spend a lot of time in Guelph, but I did have a girlfriend one time.
Her name
One
was
time.
her name was Guelph, but it was hard to say, so you had to get rid of her.
It was funny because we were driving on the highway, and she saw the sign that says Guelph. Have you been there?
Many times, yes.
Okay. So she said, we passed it, and we're kind of young. And she said, "Did that sign just say gulp?"
Close enough.
I was like, yes.
Yeah, there's some silent letters in there. It's
So,
gulp.
yeah.
Basically
It's an
gulp.
odd spelling. Yeah.
Well, Bob's son brought jug band music to
Yes.
Ontario Province, and Ed, you've brought some wonderful. I don't know, what would you distinguish as this? What kind of music?
Well, this
would you
is
call it?
definitely called Nuevo Flamenco,
Very nice.
which is based on flamenco. It's just a modernized or westernized version of flamenco.
And a true flamenco player, because the top wood of his guitar has some signs of action in it.
Mm-hmm. Because we tap. Sometimes I miss.
It's definitely been played before. Sort of, Willie Nelson is not a flamenco player, but his guitar has been beat on a little bit as well.
And his guitar is a Spanish.
Really?
It's not a flamenco guitar, but it's a nylon string Spanish guitar. Yeah.
I had no
I think
idea.
it's a Yamaha, right, Ryan? Is it a Yamaha?
Martin.
Is it Martin?
It's a Martin.
Well, nothing worse than a new guitar. I mean, it's takes some banging on them to open the wood up for a while. And
Yes.
Ryan, you've brought a really good-looking Taylor. How long have you had that guitar?
I actually bought this in 2014 or 15.
We don't see. That's probably our first classical nylon string Taylor
Yeah.
we've seen up here. I think.
Funny
Yeah.
story behind this. We were in the studio at Manifold Studios in Pittsburgh recording our album Rosa Maria, and I had a Godin nylon string, which is more like an electric. And the producer, when we started recording, the producer's like, "So, do you have another guitar? Because that one sounds like a trash can."
Thank you very much.
The next day, Ed and I went down to the guitar shop, and we picked out this one because I grew up playing electric guitar for 22 years or so, and so I need the string spacing on a classical guitar is too much for my hands, so I have a hybrid string spacing on this Taylor.
Yeah.
So makes it a lot easier to play.
So
Fits my style.
So what do you play? Do you guys play guitar?
Kirk plays guitar quite a bit. I was actually looking at him a little funny when he first showed up to the studio today because he did not bring a guitar with him.
No, I forgot it. I left it. The dog ate it.
The dog hit it.
And Kat, you brought cajon today, which is very smart considering our stairs. But usually you have congas or something, or
Yes,
what's your
also
rig?
Congas. They're in my trunk right now, but
Well, I hope they survive the heat. They're pretty tough, those congas.
It also gets pretty hot out here in North Carolina on an August afternoon, but the sun's going down. They're going to be fine.
Everybody, welcome again to Pass Ahead here on WHUP, and we are here with the Paco Band and Ed Stephenson. What do you have for us next?
This is a song I'll let Ryan introduce because he wrote it. Go ahead, Ryan.
So this song is called El Principe, and it was written for my first son, Brendan, who's 4 now.
Is he listening, do you think?
He might be.
I better be.
But yeah, it's actually the first collaboration between Ed and I, and here you go.
Yeah, that's another wow.
Thanks. We forgot to say, you're invited to say ole. You got to yell ole.
You know what? I felt like
felt
yelling
like an ole?
ole and having some castanets. If
Hired
only.
if you could play castanets.
I could play castanets on the radio. You wouldn't want to see me in person doing it. It would not be good. But that was another fantastic song. You guys put a lot of energy into that. A lot of emoting.
Thank you very much.
We should have an energy meter, really, because you guys probably set the record.
It was
You're right up there. Kat, do you tell us about your musical background? You grew up playing drums, or?
Well, I started with piano. My dad's a musician, so I kind of grew up in show business and stuff. So I started with piano, but I was always drawn to, especially congas. And once I went into a pawn shop with a friend, and I saw some up on a shelf, and I couldn't reach them. They were really high up, and I was like, oh, they're so beautiful. But I had a kind of a guiltiness because my dad is a piano player, so I felt like, oh, I will be betraying him
You're cheating on him.
if I went to another instrument. But a couple of years later, I got to actually touch some, and the very next day I went out and bought some congas. So that was 20 plus years ago, and
then obviously he supported you. Otherwise,
yes.
he did not throw those away.
no.
He's played with the band.
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Anyone comes near me, they get hired. I wasn't
Just
joking.
draw him right in.
Yeah. He did great. I don't know if I hope he's listening, Chuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a very talented pianist.
Is he local, or where is he?
He lives in Maine now.
Okay.
That's not quite local.
No.
No, but it's
I was just there. I just got married 2 weeks ago. and-
Congratulations.
Thank you. We did the ceremony up there at my parents' house, and for part of the wedding gift, he did a really long piano concert for us.
really
and a
nice.
wedding
This is the
party.
first I've heard about it because she just got back. We played last night, so we didn't have time to talk. So that's cool.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
Very nice.
Everybody, if you have parents, relatives in Maine or in Toronto or anywhere else, our wonderful IT staff here automatically records every show here at the station and post it immediately afterwards. We have the 6 to 8 slot, so at 8 o'clock and 1 second, this show will be out there for the whole universe to listen to.
And we're waving at Johnny Shepard over in the sound booth.
Johnny is
Johnny
our
makes it
main
all
man.
happen.
Yes. Across the planet Earth, and also that new little planet that's circulating our nearest star to our star, the sun. That I just heard about.
They have internet there too?
They have internet, and we have new fans for Pass the Hat there. I understand.
Well, we
You know,
should,
the planets.
Takes a while for the show to get there.
Planets
though.
in another solar system have internet. I don't have it at my house.
Still,
Thanks, AT&T.
let's not go down that road.
well, it sounds like a market I'd like to exploit a little bit, actually.
What, Ed, how
with you on this.
are you? Do you have many guitars? Are you one of those?
Well, no, I don't have a lot. Although it's gotten to be a little more than usual lately, because I was in about 4 years ago. I was in a little bit of a car accident. It wasn't my fault, but my main
Never is.
this was a head-on collision.
Oh,
But we
man.
all survived. But my guitar didn't.
Oh,
My main guitar did, and it was like totally smushed
Oh, no.
because the equipment was in the back, and it kind of
Oh.
accordioned
scary.
the guitar, which was devastating. It was Jose Uribe, which is a classical maker, and to replace it is $21,000. And I didn't have insurance other than the car, whatever. So whatever. Anyways, I needed a guitar fast, and a friend of mine, Dennis Aberly, wonderful guy in the area, plays guitar, plays flamenco as well. He knows everything. He's one of those guys. He knows everything. And he says, Ed, I got blah, blah, blah. So next thing you know, bought it sight unseen, and I love it.
so what do you listen for in a guitar that really strikes home to you?
That's a very good question. Sound is real important to me. I don't want to sound shallow. No comments from the band. But I like it has to feel a certain way to me. I'll give a little bit with sound, but this one when I asked for the dimensions were real important to me. Width, length, everything. More than the woods or anything like that. But when I played, it's the feel of, and especially in the right hand with flamenco or classical players, it's such a touch thing with your nails and your flesh.
Mm-hmm.
So it just feels really good. That's all I could say.
And Ed has the best nails to ever enter the studio.
Well, he's got flamenco guitar nails.
He
These are
does.
pretty.
We're going to we should take a video
Bionic.
close-up of those and post them out there on our Facebook page. Everybody, Bob Johnson has us set out on Facebook. Pass the Hat. Go out there and like us, but also on YouTube. All one long string, WHUP Pass the Hat. We have over 100 videos out there now, including the videos from tonight's show will be out there soon.
Soon, yeah.
Awesome.
I wanted to ask one thing, Ed, because I've got bad eyes and I can't quite see your guitar, but there's something weird going on with the fretboard around the 8th or 9th fret. Is that a pickup?
That is an invention. I studied with a classical teacher named Aaron Shearer. He's no longer with us, but that's the reason I came to the States, was to study with him. This was his invention for a guitar strap. He was always sitting with the guitar, was always causes a lot of problems with your back sometimes, right?
Sure.
So he felt if he could come up with some way to stand and practice. So that's what this is, a little strap. It hooks on there, and it's a Velcro's back here on the base. For those people who can't see, there's to the base of the guitar, and on the neck there's 2 attachments.
And that doesn't get in the way as you're playing because
Nope.
you're bringing your fingers up from the other
Yep.
side. Fantastic.
And I use it every once in a while. Outdoor festival gigs, and we stand.
When you're standing.
Yeah.
For folks at home who can't see, Ed's sitting right now.
Yes, we are.
Everybody in the studio is sitting right now.
Everybody, you are listening to Pass the Hat on WHUP. We are here with the Paco Band, Ed Stephenson, Kat Alvarez, Ryan Johnson, and I've been out on your website enjoying that. And do you have a dancer?
We sure do sometimes. We have 3 dancers that we use at various occasions depending on who's available. Sarah Shelton is one. Oh, here we go with names. Rochelle Ruiz is another one. And then, was it Elizabeth? I know she just played with us recently once, though. It's been a long
It's
time.
Elizabeth. Like,
Elizabeth.
Everybody knows. It's like Cher.
What's her
Everybody
name? You
knows.
guys were there. Oh, no, she's going to get mad at me now.
But she's a heck of a dancer.
Yes, she's a great dancer. It'll come to me.
You're in trouble now.
Yes, I am.
It's okay. It happens.
And Kat, it is
Speaking of names, my
it
name
is Alvarez?
Yes.
It's Albanese.
Well, we like the
Albanese.
Alvarez part. That's kind
Oh,
of
Albanese.
Yes.
I thought before I said
Catherine
it
is her
10
name.
more times.
I knew I'd come up.
I know. I was like,
Catherine.
No, it's not.
So you mentioned
Not Kat's name. I mean the dancer's name.
The
But this
dancer's
is
name is
Catherine,
Catherine.
too. Now it's getting a little crazy. This is more like a rehearsal now. We're getting a little. It's getting a little. I know.
Albanese. That's part of our charm here in the living room.
that's what we do here at Pass the Hat. You're just hanging out in the living room having some fun, and if music happens to happen, that's
Yeah, I saw
fine.
the whiskey back there. Kat's. Is that a whiskey? Are we allowed to say that on the air?
No, it is.
That
Yeah,
is
that's-
actually whiskey. You can say it on the air. You can drink it on the
Bob
air. That's
Bob
why it's
brings
here.
it.
Kat is the aficionado of.
Kat, we need
Bullet
you to
is a fine bourbon.
to
like
test
that.
that out and see what you think. And
She will. Do you want to drink it before you sing or after?
after.
Okay, well then, we'll do her song now then, so she can start drinking.
Well, great, because as soon as she pours herself some, my glass happens to be empty, so she can help me out as well.
I'll even try.
But-